Hello and welcome back to another eBlitz Town Hall / podcast event. As always, we thank you for listening. If you're listening to on this demand, we really appreciate it. And if you ever do want to get involved in the live function of this, then you can join our Discord server. All links in the description below. And obviously as well, check out the eBlitz app. Links will be in the description below for that as well. But today I'm joined by Mike from the start. How you doing, mate? Unfortunately, Arron couldn't be here. Yeah, he's in a meeting. He will be joining us, though. But yeah, you doing well, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Microphone's working this week. That always helps.
That's definitely a help. Yeah, that's great to hear, man. Thanks for joining us. And obviously joining us because our special guest is here. It's YouTube and streamer Emalynde. How you doing, Emma?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time, obviously, to join us. I know it's pretty early because you're in the States, so really appreciate that.
That's all good.
Yeah, it's I for people who don't know, I used to do a little bit of a podcast, and obviously I had you on back in the day, and then we had a really good chat about Mass Effect. So I thought, yeah, and I know that you've now completed the trilogy. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I am partially through Andromeda, and I've read almost all the Mass Effect books at this point. I have sufficiently steeped myself in these games.
Wow. You've gone full in, because that's even more than me. I mean, I love the game, but you're already gone in way deeper than me on that one. That's cool. I think with that, like I said, that's how we got talking. So I thought I'd get you on and obviously have some Q&As, because that's what we do every week. Every Friday, we look to have a guest on around 2 p.m, 3 p.m. GMT, where we ask questions, obviously, and get their answers. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some fun doing it as well. So Emma, let's jump in with the first question I've got down here for you. And it is,
sure thing.
What was the first game that really got you into gaming? So what's that standout memory?
So I didn't grow up playing video games. I didn't really play a game on my own until I was like in my early 20s. And that game was World of Warcraft. My college roommate played. And she actually would only play in her bedroom because she was embarrassed. At that point, I didn't know, she thought people were being judgmental, that women shouldn't be in gaming, et cetera, et cetera. But her boyfriend came over a lot and would just play out on the couch. And he played a Tauren druid. And I love cats, as y'all know. And so he would just run around in cat form all the time. And so, of course, I was like, oh, my God, what are you playing? And so I would sit and watch him. And eventually my roommate came over and she's like, hey, you realize that you could be a pretty elf lady and have a cat? And I was like, no, you're kidding me. And that's it. That's history. I've been playing World of Warcraft. Well, not lately, but from that point onward.
That's what got you hooked.
Oh, yeah. And I fell in love with gaming, and specifically with very story-driven RPGs.
Yeah, it's a great genre to get into. World of Warcraft, the game I actually haven't played before.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe I'm missing out.
Oh, Luke, you could be a pretty elf lady too.
Yeah, there you go. And there are so many varieties of pretty elf ladies to choose from these days.
Well,
but yeah, no, wait for the merger to go through, and then maybe they'll put out some better expansions than the last two. The last two were pretty not lovely.
Not a fan then of the last two.
No.
That's fair enough.
But there's always classic. If you like the well, I guess for you it wouldn't be.
No, it wouldn't be nostalgia. No,
completely new.
Oh man,
that could hook me in though, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think more people are playing classic right now. I mean, the people that are still playing it and not boycotting it. More people are playing classic right now than retail. So.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to start looking into stuff like that, because I feel like I probably missed out a little bit there, because that does strike me as something I actually would really enjoy. But yeah, so obviously we touched on that, and I'll quickly say as well, for anyone who is listening, that if you do have questions, then get them into the Town Hall chats on our server, and Mike will, at the end, ask them to Emma, so definitely make sure you get them in. And yeah, so obviously we touched on what got you into gaming, Warcraft, and we then have what's your best gaming memory / highlight. So what's something that stands out for you that you like, you think back and you're like, yeah, that was a great moment.
Oh my gosh. Almost anything in the Mass Effect franchise. I got to play for the first time ever. I finished 3 maybe a month ago, 2 months ago.
Oh, it's fresh
And
then.
I got to, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I got to play them back to back, which a lot of people don't get to experience because, usually there's wait times in between games. But that was such a treasure, making those relationships with crewmates, going along on your narrative, getting really immersed in the universe. And God, Mass Effect as a game just has so much delicious lore, and the world building is so good, and they do such a great job at letting you feel like this is your story, this is your Shepard. And man, I made a trilogy chat video where we like sat down on stream and discussed my entire playthrough after the fact. And God, there were so many good moments. I made sure to edit in as many of them as I could. But God, if there was one specific moment,
Yeah,
the
there is a
one
lot
that's
to
been
choose from, isn't there?
yeah, it's kind of hard. Because I'm reading the third Mass Effect book right now. I think it's Mass Effect Retribution. And Kai Lang features in that one. And so what's standing out in my mind right now is spoilers, real quick for anyone who hasn't played Mass Effect 3. When you go in and infiltrate the Cerberus headquarters and you have that confrontation with him, and Shepard sits down at the terminal and she's plinking away on the keyboard and he comes up behind her. And I did not choose the Renegade interrupt. I will be doing that next time on my Legendary Edition. But she whips around and she skewers him in the gut with her Omniblade, and she says, "That's for Thane." And I like ghost romance Thane. I romanced Liara officially, but I just was looking respectfully at Thane the entire time.
Very respectfully.
Very respectfully. And I wasn't sure that she was going to remember him in that moment. And so I say, "That's for Thane." And then a half second later, Jennifer Hale comes in and repeats the phrase, and I just lost it on stream. I was just overwhelmed that she remembered Thane in that moment after all of his sacrifice and after I've been simping after this character for 2 Mass Effect games in its entirety. So that was so memorable for me as a player. It was such a gripping moment.
It's always good as well, isn't it, when the writing kind of does that for you, where you think, oh, that's exactly
so
what I'd have
good.
said. You actually said it.
Exactly. I love when that happens. I think it's only happened like verbatim twice. I walked in to say hi to Kasumi once, and I just like, "Hey, Kasumi," and she immediately goes, "Hey, Shepard," and we have the stream, and I just was like, "Oh my God!" And then of course the one with Thane. Oh no, the timing was so perfect. It was amazing. So many good memories from the Mass Effect franchise.
Yeah.
There's someone such as myself who's never played Mass Effect.
Oh man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll just leave now. That's all I had to say. No, so there are also books about it too. Would you recommend reading the books first or playing the game first?
I'm kind of a literature snob, so they're not. I do have to disclaim that they're not like wonderful standalone. Don't get me. They'd be entertaining. But if you don't know anything about the Mass Effect universe, you're like, why do I care about these people? Oh, okay, yeah, this is a thing, but all right. They really kind of base the entire set, there's 3 of them, on knowing the lore ahead of time. They do explain some things, but it definitely helps to have already been very familiar with the different alien races, the different locations, some of the main characters. They do give little references to Shepard, but most of this stuff occurs completely outside what you experience in the actual games. So they're really just kind of like amazing fillers. They just flesh out the universe a little better. They add some really great narrative fluff if you're into that.
Oh, definitely.
Oh my God. Also, there's so much good stuff about Anderson. If you are a fan of Space Dad,
and you will be.
oh yeah. Like, I don't know how somebody can play through these games and not just absolutely adore Anderson.
Fantastic character. Yeah, definitely one of the favorites. And Mike, I mean, we haven't plugged Game Pass for a while, but me and you usually sit around and like, yeah, we love Game Pass, and I believe the Legendary Edition is on there. So,
oh, amazing!
I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day then.
Absolutely, 100%.
Highly recommended.
Just do it.
Yeah.
How long is the story mode for? I guess all 3 games.
Oh wow.
It's great.
The
Regardless of the way
replayability
you
is
want
a
to
lot
play
too,
it.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. There's so many different ways you can. I mean, there's so many characters to romance. There's so many different backgrounds to take, classes to try out. It's incredibly replayable.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
definitely echo that, and you'll get a lot of time out of it if you want as well. So yeah, for sure. Obviously, we're talking a lot about Mass Effect because if people
Sorry.
don't know, that I was going to say, because if people don't know, I mean, Emalynde does and has been streaming a lot, and that's how I stumbled across your channel on YouTube as well, was from that. And I wanted to ask, how come you decided to get into Mass Effect? So, what was the reason for that?
This is not my most shining moment. I started out with Dragon Age, Inquisition, actually. It's one of the first single players I got into other than Skyrim. And I'm easily lured into these games with, pretty elves, as I have demonstrated throughout my gaming history.
Yeah.
And so it was really not my jam to try out a space opera. And all of the people who were watching my Dragon Age Let's Plays were like, Emma, you really need to try out Mass Effect. If you like Dragon Age, you will like Mass Effect. And I was like, oh, I'm not into space. And they're like, look, all the same elements that you love about Dragon Age are there. There's just space elves. They're blue instead of, with pointy ears.
Yep.
And I was like, all right. And of course, here I am. And I just love it to pieces.
Well done, those people, I say.
Yeah.
Because Dragon Age is also a great series, I think, as well. But I mean, for me, Mass Effect is the one. So I applaud them. I think they steered you in a great direction, to be fair. Yeah. So obviously, when you get into Mass Effect, and now that you finally completed the series, like you said, a couple of months back.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite character from the franchise who, I know obviously you mentioned Space Dad Anderson, but I feel like somewhat one of your companions maybe?
Oh man. I have a lot of favorites. I really just, they developed the characters so well throughout the franchise. And it really works to Bioware's benefit that you get to interact with the same characters throughout the games, where you can really build connections with them. God, it's so hard.
It really is a tough one. For people who haven't played it, there's so many good characters.
Right? And they do such a good job of, even if a character is not particularly your cup of tea, it doesn't mean they're a bad character. They just don't necessarily resonate with you, but they provide a lot of really good perspective of different things that are going on in the world, different cultures. And, let's see. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Thane. I really would be. I literally have the body pillow in my living room. I have Keith Farley, who's the voice actor for Thane. I have a signed print of his.
Oh, very nice.
So, I definitely have to mention Thane. But for favorites, God, but there's also Liara, but there's also Garrus. God, it's very difficult.
I don't know if you remember last time, but me and my co-host Todd at the time, we were talking about Garrus, and you weren't a massive fan, because I think at that point, had you played just the first one?
Yeah, I was still in Mass Effect 1, and there's a writer overhaul in 2, and Patrick Weeks actually takes over the writing for Garrus, and oh my God, the difference. Garrus is best boy, my best friend in the whole galaxy. He goes everywhere with me. Like, Shepard. Oh, there's no Shepard without Vicarian. So.
Yeah. I've got to admit,
definitely did a
Garrus.
180.
Yeah, Garrus for me and Sud at the time as well was our favourites, and he still is my favourite. So I was
He's so
kind of glad
good.
to hear that he's won you over.
Yes. Oh yeah. And I really do love that we have these like hot takes like that, because it really just shows how good the writing is, that you can take somebody who isn't necessarily palatable to everybody at first, and then like he's arguably the fan favorite character out of the entire franchise at the end of the trilogy. And it's so good. I mean, I honestly was the same way about Thane. We went in to do his recruitment mission, and I'm like, oh, who is this wannabe Batman? Like, what is this? And let me tell you, I changed my perspective pretty quick.
Yeah, Thane, he does have a lot of depth, doesn't he, to his character?
Oh
He
my gosh.
becomes a really cool companion to have.
I can't wait to romance him, because apparently there's so much more to that if you get to romance him. And I mean, like, I was tried and true, faithful to Liara, so I didn't romance anyone into.
Just respectfully looked, which is fine.
Yes. Respectfully from a distance.
So, if I had to then put you on the spot, who do you have a favourite, or is it just you like too many, so many too much that it's hard to pick?
Oh God, it is super hard to pick, but if I have to choose one,
Yeah, Mike's making you
probably be
choose, I'm
Thane.
afraid.
Yeah,
I need to know who to look out for.
It'd have to be Thane. God, I'm just such a fangirl for him.
I'm gonna write this
He's
down
just
on
so well
notepad.
done. He's like, well, and I love it because, God, I'm just really playing into the stereotype right now. He was specifically written and designed to appeal to women. There are some really great articles back when 2 was released, and some since then, that kind of chronicle the journey that developers were going on to try to make a romance option that really, really resonated with women. And it was kind of difficult because they were going through and designing an alien, right? And so you have to like have, visual cues as well as interactions and dialogue that were going to be appealing to women. And apparently they just really sucked at it initially. They would keep showing their designs and their like draw ups for dialogue, and when we're like, oh my God, what? Like, no, gross. And so they worked super hard and eventually got the perfect product, in my opinion.
I never knew that. That's really
Oh my
interesting.
goodness. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they managed to win people over as well in the end, because Thane
my
is
goodness,
a beloved
yeah.
character.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was really impressed and very thankful that they were trying to do that in the first place. Jennifer Hale actually talks a lot about how great Mass Effect was for women in gaming. She cited some numbers, and of course I can't remember them at the moment. It's one of the in 7-day cast reunions that they've been doing lately, the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how more women got into gaming with the Mass Effect franchise than ever before that. And
That's really cool.
she was so proud of it, and I just love her for that. She's so great.
Yeah. And she does a fantastic job as well as Shepard.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel bad because Mark Meer is amazing. He's such a great guy. He does such an amazing job. But there's just something about Fem Shep. And apparently she was the original Shepard. The original Shepard before they decided to do like an option to play as either one. The original Shepard was Fem Shep.
Really?
And they buckled to pressure from the overlords that be, whoever it happened to be. And they made it to where you could choose whether to be Bro Shep or Fem Shep.
That's interesting. Again, there's something I didn't know. And I think, when I think back now, if I played through as Fem Shep from the start, it definitely wouldn't have like hampered my experience, because I feel like both of them really well, like you were touching on. So I would get enjoyment out of both for sure. So it's really interesting.
Wow, she's so talented.
Yeah, She did a fantastic job, and that's definitely kudos to her there for that. That was really well done. What about then? What about then putting you on the spot for your favorite? I know, but I'm just. Mike keeps telling me you gotta keep putting you on the spot.
You're totally good.
Well, which is your favorite Mass Effect game?
Oh my God, we were literally just talking about this the other day. When I had my trilogy chat, I hadn't made up my mind yet, and Mass Effect 2, its birthday was literally like 2 days ago. It's like 12 years. And so I was like trying to parse that out a little better. And I am so at a loss because 2, you have so much character development. You spend so much time with these amazing people, getting to know them, doing cool shit, and just, having a fucking good time with your friends. Mm-hmm. And then you get into 3 and they hit you hard. I'm trying not to like spoil too much, so Mike can play.
Yeah. I'll have to mute myself otherwise.
No, you're totally good. I'm definitely trying to be delicate so that you will still be able to play without any like huge spoilers. But the narrative's different in 3, but I appreciate that a lot. Mm-hmm. And I think that the journey that you go on in 3, it hits harder because it's meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In good and bad ways. And so it's so hard. It's like fun time with friends, or like the culmination to this journey that you've been on for so long, and you've worked so hard to get here and do what you need to do. God. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing with Vane. It's gonna be, what am I feeling today? We're gonna go with 3 today because I'm still super emotional about the last bit of Mass Effect 3.
Can I ask, without obviously spoilers, sorry, what was your thoughts on the end? Were you satisfied with that? Because I don't know. Well, you probably do know, to be fair, because you probably had enough people in your community telling you as well. But at the time, it was not received very well.
Yeah. So I thankfully, because it's so many years later, I did play with all the additions and fixes. So I felt very content, I think, in my ending. It fit the way I played my playthrough, and I did as much good as I could possibly do. Mm-hmm. I know that a lot of people did not like the options that they were presented with, which makes sense. You go on a journey and you're very attached, and sometimes big change is hard. As a writer, I feel like it was a very appropriate culmination to the trilogy. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do this.
I know, it is hard.
I know that a lot of people didn't. I mean, there were some valid complaints, right? Without a lot of the cutscenes at the end, I too would be at a loss, kind of confused. You need to give it a good send off, right? You've grown with these characters, you've fought and bled and cried with these characters, and so there needs to be more fanfare. So I definitely agree that the inclusion of those cutscenes was very necessary. But I know a lot of how are we going to talk about that?
Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it, to be fair, avoiding spoilers for Mike.
Yeah. God, you know the bit I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People were upset with that. I wasn't upset with it. I think that that's a very real world scenario. And I'm not sure how much more I can say without inadvertently tinting poor Mike on his journey. And I really don't want to do that because I was so fortunate to play through blind, and it's such a phenomenal experience, and it's really so much better when you get to experience it on your own. Like I'll never forgive the people in my chat for ruining. Oh no, I can't talk about that either. Fuck. There's a return character in 2 that I.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, and they just like whole ass in my stream. And I guess some people forget that I'm an attorney sometimes, and so I'm literally trained to like issue spot and use context clues and stuff like that to interpret information.
Yeah.
And so I figured it out while they were just discussing it. And like, I mean, granted, it was people being excited for the reveal, but they were trying to be clever and coy, and I figured it out. And we had to make some sweeping changes to our moderating team.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because
Yeah.
some of the spoilers, yeah, you definitely would prefer to go in blind, and essentially, because like you touched on, you got to play them back to back because obviously you didn't play them when they first came out, and I actually did the same. I was able to play them back to back.
Amazing.
But I had the caveat of a few friends talking about, like, they were talking about the ending before I was playing the game, if you know what I mean. So kind of.
Oh no, yeah.
So like we're just kind of having a chat, and I'm out with them, and they start talking about it, and I'm like, oh, I don't really care, don't play it. But then like roll on a year later, I'm playing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of know what happened here.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate.
It was unfortunate, but Mike,
but they weren't
you're in the
doing
clear.
it to be malicious by any means. Yeah. Sorry, thanks, Mike, for your patience.
Nope, much appreciated. Thanks for not spoiling anything.
No. I definitely value being able to go through these things blind. I will absolutely fight for your right to do so.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
And I'm confident that you're really going to like it as well. So
it's so good.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm looking forward to talking with you as well, Mike, about it. When it comes to the second one, though, I mean, a lot of people. I say a lot of people is I'm going off what I've kind of read. I don't know how accurate it is, but I feel like most people's favorite's the second one.
Yes, I definitely feel that way too. It's so lovable, right? It's just like fun time with friends. 100%. I see that. And I definitely understand why 3 might be more difficult for people to love as much. Also, Citadel DLC, it's just perfect.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God, it's the absolute best. So I feel like sometimes people forget, or they're just salty about ME3, and they don't want to take Citadel into consideration, or the other DLC, which is also very, very good. Man. But yeah, I understand why people are grumpy, because those should have been included with the game when it came out.
Yeah.
It definitely is a lot less of a fulfilling experience if you have to wait and play those afterwards. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would have been a bit weird, wouldn't it? Now looking back, because we have that, obviously, that advantage. By the way, so obviously as well, way back when we were last chatting about Mass Effect, you were playing obviously through on the PC, but the Legendary Edition was coming out. Did you end up completing both original games, 2 and 3?
I just finished 1, 2, and 3 as is. I did not play the Legendary Edition. I was going to go back on my own and play it, but my community is really wanting me to play it on stream again. And so I have been coerced into going through the entire thing all over again. But it's kind of cool because now I'll get to see all the nice changes that they've made, and that gives me an opportunity to make a lot of different choices.
It definitely does.
Which I'm excited to see for some of them. Some of them are going to be really hard to make. Because I definitely play very Paragon. Not just like as a standard without thinking about it, but that just tends to be the way that I approach the narrative. I definitely have made some Renegade interrupts. Looking at you, what was his name? The Admiral, oh no.
Not Hackett. Hackett? No?
No. Quarian.
Oh,
not Ron.
Yeah.
You know. Han Garel.
Oh,
that fucker.
There you go.
Yeah, Han Garel. He deserved that.
Yeah, some people definitely deserve the Renegade choice in throughout Mass Effect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Weirdly, I was kind of same as you. I've played through Mass Effect now a good few times, but I just always seem to lean towards Paragon. Don't know why. I haven't really done a full Renegade playthrough yet, but I'm told that it's really fun.
I do hear that there's some really great line delivery in Renegade. I'm just gonna have to like steel myself and choose them. Maybe not for my companions, because there's apparently one where you're like, Tally's trying to talk to you about something, and you literally just brush her off, and you're like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. And she just like her little demeanor crumples, and she like hangs her head and turns around and leaves, and you're just like, how could you do that to her?
I know.
What, you terrible person, how dare.
Yeah, because she's such a nice character as well.
Right? Oh, yeah. So I don't think I'll manage to be Renegade to my friends. I'm gonna just shoot for, if I am like compulsory Renegade, just for the decision tree ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, some of those options would be tough with the companions for sure. It's just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
But yeah. Well, Mike, you're definitely going to have to play. And yeah, that's probably where we're going to leave Mass Effect chat as well. Unless it crops back up later on with some of the questions.
Sorry.
It's all good. But one, obviously, we touched on, well, you touched on a little bit, Emma, was the fact that you were playing Dragon Age. So obviously I thought, well, I already knew that anyway, that, you know, you got into that game and that franchise. And I wanted to ask you, what was it that drew you in with Dragon Age, and which has been your favourite Dragon Age game to play? Because you said you started with Inquisition. Did you go back and play the older ones after that?
I did. My like content creation career started with Dragon Age Origins, because I inadvertently played Inquisition first, which is the third game in the franchise, and I just didn't know that there were other games. Again, it was the only single player I had even looked at besides Skyrim, and it very much fit what I was accustomed to in gaming, which is really high fantasy, lots of exploration, getting to talk to people. And so it was just me kind of slowly branching out from World of Warcraft. And I was just immediately sucked into Dragon Age Inquisition. I just love it to pieces. And so, of course, when I finished that, I was like, well, oh, no, there are 2 other games before that. And so went back, play them. And I'm playing Inquisition over again right now, because it's an entirely different game now that I have all the reference and the lore.
Yeah,
and oh my God, everything in between. Now, codex entries make sense. Now, people's dialogue entries have context, right? It's just an entirely different beast, and I love it so much.
I really enjoyed Inquisition.
Yes, it's my favorite. I know it gets a lot of shit for being open world and for deviating from their like top-down control, but I low-key hated the top-down. So I'm super happy to have it be more interactive and not necessarily turn-based.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played Dragon Age in years, but I think it's another game that I definitely have to revisit soon.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I have a rule that if you have a video game that you love, you have to at least play it twice. Because experiencing the narrative from the beginning again, after completing it, clues you into so many little details that you had, no reason to pick up on the first time because you weren't aware. But it really makes those games so much better because you see all the time and effort and energy that these lovely developers and writers put in just to like have those little Easter eggs for you on a second go.
Yeah.
I feel like with Dragon Age 2, there's so many different party setups and
oh my goodness, yeah,
romancing different characters, and it's a lot to do. Speaking of romancing, though, did you ever get the adorable romancing down?
I am trying. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I pair them together pretty often. Thank you for reminding me. I need to go change my party literally later today when I'm streaming. Because I've been running around with Varric and Cassandra right now, and I definitely need to put Bull and Dorian back in there. And of course, Solus never leaves my party. He's always there. He is a staple.
Oh, Varric is staple for mine, just because of the relationship with Bianca.
Oh my God, I just got to that quest. I'm waiting for the juicy dialogue about it. Because they have so much good party banter about it. But Varric is, he took what is it? It's like basically Artificer. And so he keeps putting bombs everywhere and he's destroying the wildlife. And so he's got to go. He keeps killing the the nugs and the little antelope. I'm in the Emerald Graves right now. And I
Yeah.
just like, I can't bear it. I love those nugs with my entire heart.
Yeah, the party AI isn't great in Inquisition. I remember playing
No.
with Varric in my party who would just like stand off to the side and shoot nothing or drop traps in random places that didn't really help.
Yep. Yeah, my
Yeah.
mistake for specking him out that way. Like I
Yeah.
will take the blame for that, but I didn't realize how bad it was gonna be.
What did you because obviously this question's to you both actually, to be fair, because it seems like I didn't really realize as well, Mike, that you're a big Dragon Age fan. What did you guys
Oh
make
yeah.
of number 2?
I like to. I know that people didn't necessarily appreciate the way in which EA treated it, and Mike Dara has come out, David Gator has come out and talked about how they had to basically butcher the end of the game to appease EA, and that they were unhappy with a lot of the end boss fights because they weren't supposed to be here. They just kind of got shoved in at the last second, and they had to kind of quickly cobble together some, thin narrative reason for this even existing. And it's hard because you know that BioWare and their writers and developers are doing their best. But EA has a habit of crippling games on occasion, and unfortunately, Dragon Age 2 is a casualty of that.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Remember the backlash. To be fair, how about you, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think after playing the first game and then jumping straight into the second one, like immediately, the differences between the two was, I wouldn't say it made two unplayable, but just the lack of like said storyline and depth and just what felt like recycled environments all over the game. Like
Yeah.
it kind of put a dampener on the series for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
get that.
love the companions in 2, though. The companions in 2 are pretty great. I do have to harp on Fenris. Please, fangirls, don't come for me.
That includes
'Cause
me, I think.
I'm a huge mage rights proponent, and so I romanced Anders, and I like Fenris. Don't get me wrong, but there was no way for me to reach him and be like, "Hey, there's a lot of similarities between the plight of slaves in Tevinter and the way in which mages are treated here in Southern Thedas." And like the attorney in me wanted to just bridge that connection so bad and like try to have like a reasonable conversation with him, but you can't. And he just refuses to acknowledge the similarities the entire game. And so we never really got along. And so he ended up challenging Hawk to the death in my playthrough, and I was so upset. I just wanted to be friends, but sometimes it be like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the casualties of how the story goes and different companions. I think touching on companions as well, I mean, it might be one of your answers to this next question, to be fair, because what I have down is what was it about, or what is it about Bioware games that really drew you in, or draw you in? And because for me, I think when I think about Mass Effect and Dragon Age, it is the companions. I just love them, and I love this. And as a result, I love the story as well. Obviously, in majority of them, especially Mass Effect. But the companions they make it for me. I always find it dead enjoyable.
They really do.
And the depth,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna echo that. It's the narrative and the companions. Because I mean, like you have NPCs and lots of random games, and even like companion NPCs that run around with you, and they don't quite have that magic to them that BioWare manages to achieve. And oh my gosh, yeah. And I mean, I do understand why they chose different avenues for Dragon Age and for Mass Effect regarding companions. Like in Dragon Age, you have a different protagonist each time, and therefore a lot of the companions are new. And that kind of hinders your ability to get as attached to them as you do in like Mass Effect, where you're playing the same protagonist. You get to keep most of your friends, and God, man, Mass Effect just really, really nails that. that bond with these pixels that you spend time with on screen. It's great.
It's a massive jump from the I don't know if you ever played Oblivion. You
Yeah.
spoke about Skyrim.
No.
The adoring fan in Oblivion. If anyone knows about him,
Oh
it's
man,
yeah.
I'm so sad I missed like really good classics like Morrowind and Oblivion and whatnot. Like I didn't come into the franchise until Skyrim, and I'm skeptical of the older ones now just because the graphics are a little difficult, and I don't have the nostalgia, which is what helps propel people through those games at this point. So I'm super
Oh,
sad. I've heard such good things about them.
That's definitely a thing, isn't it? When you think back, sometimes a game, when it appears outdated, but if you've got that nostalgia for it,
Yep.
jump straight back in. Because another Bioware game, for me, it's like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I mean, when you play it now, it's pretty clunky, really, but because
They're doing a
nostalgia.
remaster.
I know, yeah.
I'm
And
so excited. Jennifer Hill's gonna be back for it.
yeah,
I am excited. I'm gonna play it.
it's going to be brilliant. I don't know if you've heard about, apparently the rumours are as well, though, they've completely overhauled the combat. I read an article, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, that they are turning it more into a God of War style combat system.
Interesting.
Don't know how true that is, obviously, but
Yeah.
how would you feel about that with Knights of the Old Republic? That would seem so different to me. But I mean, if it's a
I
remake,
haven't played either. I've watched God of War, the newest one. I watched my spouse play that, and I love it. It's so cool. I do want to play it myself before the next one comes out. I mean, good fucking luck, because I think it's going to come out pretty shortly this year. Same with Horizon Zero Dawn. But I am familiar with the combat style, even though I haven't played it. And so for me, that's not going to make as much of a difference because I haven't played Knights of the Old Republic. But, I mean, the combat style from God of War, the newest one at least, looks pretty cool.
it is really good.
It looked
I
pretty
enjoyed it.
satisfying.
Yeah, it was. It was, to be fair. How about you, Mike? Did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic?
No, I didn't. I've played some really old Star Wars games, like the old CD-ROM Star Wars games, and that's where I stopped, really. So
That's fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be really interesting what they do with it. I'm excited.
I can definitely see like just exchanging Kratos' axe for a lightsaber, though. It definitely works.
It would play well. Just chopping people up with a lightsaber instead of an axe. I'm for that. But yeah, so I think when taking it back then to like the Bioware games, is there any other Bioware games that stand out for you at all that you might have played, or is it just mainly been the Dragon Age and Mass Effect?
I've heard a lot of good things about Jade Empire, which is also a very old title. What else have they touched?
Did you play Anthem?
I did not play Anthem.
You-
I
you
mean, like,
escaped.
I haven't looked much into it, right? Right, exactly. I've been hearing not great things about it, but I also know how the gaming community is. And I try not to give anything too much credence until I've tried it myself. Because a lot of people like to, like, for instance, for Andromeda, a lot of people like to make a big fuss, and it's just really not that bad. Like, I absolutely
Exactly,
can
yeah.
see where some people might have an issue with, for instance, what's getting me right now is when the camera zooms in when Ryder's chatting with whoever she's chatting with. It'll just randomly pick a spot and fixate on it. Ryder's not there. The person she's talking to, not there either. But
Yeah.
this wall, absolutely. Spotlight. Give them the limelight. And it happens to me like, God, maybe 1 out of every 5 conversations I try to have. So like that, yeah. But I think a lot of people were really hyper fixated on this being a continuation of the trilogy in some way, shape, or form, even though Bioware was like, hey, this is completely different. I think people are very attached to Shepard. And I mean, granted, of course, amazing character. I totally understand why, but it's a different story, and you can't get mad at it for being a different story.
No, exactly. And I actually, me and my friends spoke about it at the time when it came out. We played and completed it, Andromeda. And we sat there and we were like, it's not as bad as everyone's making out. Like, if this was called literally like Luke Goes to Space and that was the video game, I think most people would have been like, yeah, it's all right, to be fair. But because it had the Mass Effect title, people were really not happy.
It's still in the universe. Like, oh man, people were just being salty because they didn't get what they wanted. And like, to be fair, you can't please everyone. So I think it's such a shame that that poor game studio got completely dissolved as a result of the backlash.
Yeah.
But I'm having a good time with Andromeda. I'm not that far into it. I haven't even like locked in a romance yet. I don't even know who I can romance. You just get to flirt with everybody, which I appreciate. Thank you, Bioware. But like, I mean, I think I just got to Vold, and I chose to do Vold before Havarl. So like the reveal of the alien races, very cool. I'm over here like picking up every little scrap and drop of lore that I can because I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is up with the Ket, and I just like I don't have enough information yet, but it's super sus. I'm enjoying it. It's a good game.
I think, yeah, I feel like it's a good game as well. I'm actually I was disappointed that obviously there would be no continuation at the time, because after you complete it and, you know, story unfolds, I felt like there was enough there that gripped me to want to see more. But unfortunately, I don't think we will ever see any more from that. I know we're getting obviously another Mass Effect, but
yes, oh my god,
which is going to be amazing. I mean, that's probably years and years out, but it is coming apparently. So
I didn't watch any of the N7 cast reunions until after I finished the trilogy, because I didn't want to get spoiled inadvertently. Because I was like, we were talking about or alluding to the print I have from Jennifer Hale. She was signing them live on Instagram, and I was just hanging out waiting for her to get to mine. And Mark Mir pops in, and they just start chatting, and he starts dropping whole ass spoilers. And I hadn't finished the game at that point, so I was like, oh my god! And I just had to pop out, and so I was just adamantly avoiding anything at that point. So when I did finally get to sit down, they 100% knew. And I think the interviewer knew as well, because he kind of teased. He's like, hey, would you guys, potentially be interested in getting the game back together and doing another game? And it's just like, I mean, what kind of question is that? Like, we haven't had a new Mass Effect in years, but apparently
it's coming.
So, oh yeah, man, I watched that trailer almost basically the day after I finished it. And like, I have faith. Not spoiling for you, Mike. I am ready. We're not done. I believe. I'm ready.
I'm the same.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be so good. I mean, I don't want to get my expectations too high, but because I love it so much.
Yeah, that's dangerous. I 100%, I'm on the same boat. Like, because Dragon Age 4 is in the works too.
It is,
and God, they've been having such a hard time. People are quitting left and right, and they're having to change creative directors. And so I'm like, please don't. Because I'm hopelessly in love with Solus. So I care quite a bit about the way they handle this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you completely. And I want to see them. I want to see them succeed with Dragon Age and Mass Effect, because obviously that means they'll continue as well. And hopefully we'll keep getting great games in those franchises.
Wouldn't that be the best?
That'd be amazing. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I've just noticed as well, Arron's joined us, the founder of eBlitz. I know he couldn't be with us at the start, but he's here. How you doing, mate? He's unmuted, but I don't know if his mic's working.
Flashbacks to last week.
No, it's not working.
Yeah.
No,
There you go. Perfect.
Houston to Earth. Yeah, so I was saying, really sorry about the delay, and don't let me interrupt the flow. I was being a very happy passenger, just enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, well, there's another game, Arron. I feel like after each week we keep recommending you games that you should play.
The list is growing and growing.
It is growing.
Nice. That's what we like to see.
It is. That list by the end of this is going to be huge. But yeah, Emma, let's go into obviously some of the final questions that we had, and it was more in relation to your YouTubing and streaming, of course. And I just wanted to know, what was it that made you want to create a YouTube channel and to start streaming as well?
So YouTube, I think I started in like 2015. I actually watched a lot of Let's Plays, and at the time I was just kind of a beginner gamer, and so there were a lot of things that I was interested in, but I didn't think I necessarily had the expertise to play, and so I would watch all of these Let's Plays. And I had just started to branch out into Skyrim and Dragon Age Inquisition, and I had a friend just offhandedly say, well, I mean, why don't you just do that? As I was showing them Let's Plays one day.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? And I had just never considered it before, but it made sense. I have a theater background. I did broadcast journalism in high school. So I had all the expertise, both talent and technical, to give it a go. And so I just did. And I have since just kind of specialized in first-time blind playthroughs of beloved games, and streaming got thrown into the mix during the pandemic. It just, I mean, I made Twitch partner in 4 months.
Yeah,
so
that's really cool. And I remember as well, at one point you were on the Twitch advert. No.
Yes,
Was it
for
an
Mass Effect.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, they had a compilation for In 7 Day, and I was the
it.
thumbnail, and I was featured in the compilation twice, 2 different streams.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It was really cool. It was really cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was great. To be fair, I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, that's Emma.
I was over the moon because I
Yeah.
actually didn't know. I wasn't following Twitch on Twitter or anything. And one of my friends messaged me and she's like, "Oh my God, is this you?" And I was like, "Oh my God." Yeah.
Yeah, what a moment. To be fair, that is cool.
Yeah. God, it was wild.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, what's your favorite thing then about YouTubing/streaming?
It's really a great way to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super, super bad at I guess normal people's small talk. But when you get into communities like this, you have 1,000,007 things to talk about. Because if someone's here in my stream for Dragon Age, for instance, I know that they care about this, at least in some remote manner. Even if they haven't played the game, they're interested in it, right? Or at least in watching me play through it, even if they don't have much attachment to the game itself. And so it's this wonderful sort of camaraderie, getting to share something that you love with other people who love it. It is such an amazing experience. And I just enjoy that so much. It's hard because I don't play single games on my own anymore, outside of stream, because it's just not the same. I can't ask questions or get to know cool tidbits of lore from people who've already played it. My community, thankfully, is really good about offering up cool facts and shit without backseating or spoiling. So we have a really great dynamic going, and it's just so much fun to share something that you love with other people who love it.
Yeah, I totally get that.
It's
because I
such a good
think
time.
when I complete a single player story game, for example, one of the first things I like to do usually is try and find a discussion about it on YouTube, for example. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, it's so good.
Just so you can nerd out with other people, even though they can't hear me,
Yes.
obviously, at the time.
Absolutely.
But it's oh,
It's
yeah.
exactly the sentiment.
Yeah, so that must be pretty cool because obviously you're getting that as live feedback or a live interaction as a result. And you've built
And
up
I like
quite
to
a good
talk.
community as well.
Yeah. Yes. Thankfully, we've been ever since that one Mass Effect 2 character reveal.
Yeah.
We've really kind of doubled down on having a zero tolerance policy for backseating and for spoilering, and so it really helps us have a quality community. If people are there, they're hanging out because want to be there because they love the game and they appreciate or at least respect, right, the way that I'm playing it. And it's just it's so nice. We have such a wholesome, happy, healthy community where we get to have those long discussions about things that are happening in the game. Man, when I finished the trilogy for Mass Effect, oh my God, we spent so much time chatting about it. Exactly what you were.
Yeah,
And
it's so good.
it's closure too, right? It's validation, especially having to say goodbye to games sometimes and the worlds and the characters. And man, it's really great. And I know not all streamers kind of experience it that way because match-based games are also super popular and they're super great. They're super fun. No shade there. But there's something special about going through these story-driven RPGs with other people who have either played it and love it or are just super into it. And oh man, it's so rewarding.
Yeah, completely agree. And it feels like you actually can make a connection, can't you? And it works really well. So as a result as well, I mean, I remember back in the day you used to do community events. Do you still do that?
We literally just had one. God, was it the 21st? Oh my God, was it really that recently? So actually last Friday.
Nice.
We had our like a holiday-ish event, and we just basically played Jackbox together, and we play. I have Patreon game night every month, and we'll play Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Right now, they have elected to watch The Expanse together, and so we literally watch 3 episodes every week, and then just like madly throw out theories and exclaim about what's happened. It's just so much fun. We definitely have a lot of community interaction, and I really, really appreciate that. I mean, Patreons and like non-Patreons alike.
Yeah, I think it creates a nice vibe, doesn't it? And creates good value in the community as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Because like you said, your community is a very happy, positive one. I would say so. Yeah, I think it's definitely a good thing you got going on there. When it comes to, so this is the last question I have before I hand it over to Mike and any questions that we've had for you, Emma. But the last one I have is there any tips you would give to any aspiring streamers or YouTubers?
I have been giving several webinars in just this vein lately, usually through the Gamers app. And my one thing that I always try to emphasize is do something that you're passionate about. I'm not a big believer in catering trends in the gaming industry. Like, for instance, like when Phas came out, Phasmophobia, and literally everyone and their mom was playing Phasmophobia. Don't do it because everyone's playing Phas. Do it because you absolutely love Phas. And I really think that passion communicates through your experience as a streamer, people watching the stream. It's just so much easier to engage others, to interact with others when you're doing something that you love. You're having a good time. Because honestly, if you're not having a good time when you're streaming, I don't know what you're doing. Like, there's no point at that point.
Yeah, and it's probably going to come through as well on the stream.
Exactly. People can tell. I definitely made that mistake when I started out. Everyone wanted me to play Portal. And I was like, okay, I will play Portal. And Portal's not a bad game. But playing 4 hours straight of Portal and nothing but Portal with no breaks from Portal was not for me. And having to, because I take all my streams and then I edit them down and put them on YouTube with, the appropriate amount of memes and whatnot. And I was watching those back and I was like, I look dead inside. Like, I'm trying, but I can tell. And I was just like, yikes, I really hope that other people can't tell. But I mean, I know somebody has. And I was like, well, that's it. Can't do that anymore. And so my new rule is, for instance, they were talking about StarCraft yesterday when we were streaming. And I was like, I haven't tried it. I'm not sure if it's going to be my jam or not, but I'm happy to give it a go. And of course, it was like, no. If it's not something that you're into, don't worry about it. But I'm always happy to give something a try. One stream, we test it out. If I like it, great. We continue. If I don't, it was a nice run.
Yeah.
And so it's really important to know your limits, know your boundaries, and above all, be passionate about what you're doing. Make sure that whatever you're creating, whether that's gaming or not, you care about it, you're passionate about it, and you are enjoying it.
I think that's great advice, to be fair, for anyone who is starting out, because at the end of the day, you want to be as authentic as possible. So you want to make sure you're enjoying that experience so it shines through. Yep, I think that's a very good point. And I'll hand it over to Mike then for any questions that we've had, if that's good with you, Mike.
Yeah, we've got a few. I just wanted to mention, though, you guys mentioned having community events, and that's something that people can start to look forward to with eBlitz very soon.
Ooh, nice.
So,
That we can.
little plug.
Yeah, on the Discord server. So
Yep.
if you're
Keep an
listening
eye out
on the
Discord.
podcast, links are in the description below. But yeah, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Yep. And another random thing as well, talking about companions of Dragon Age earlier, I can't get the woof from Sarah out of my head now. If any of you guys play that game,
Yes.
it's awful.
Oh my goodness. An iconic moment.
Yeah, it's gonna haunt me now. It's nightmare fuel for sure.
Nightmare fuel.
No, but moving on to questions. So, we haven't really spoken about your cosplays too much. So I've taken a look at a few of them, and I love the Dragon Age cosplays. The Morrigan. I always want to call her Morgana.
Yes.
She's definitely a Morgana, not a Morrigan. But yeah, so we've had quite a few questions about this actually. Which was or is your favorite cosplay that you've ever done?
It is Morrigan.
Which
I
iteration?
I definitely cosplay the Inquisition version.
Yeah.
I don't have an ensemble for her versions. I have some like in between ones, like to be silly. Like I have like a pirate Morrigan and like the Dark Ritual version and like a modern, because I just love her to pieces. And so every once in a while I just get the itch again, and I'm like, well, we got to figure out another way. But the original outfit that I built for her, entirely by hand, she's such a labor of love. That's probably my most iconic cosplay. It to be fair, it's really good. I like it a lot. I worked very hard on it. The staff, everything. It is definitely a fan favorite too. I cannot tell you how many photographers get in contact with me and they're like, hi, I want to shoot this lady. And they link me a picture. One of my pictures of her, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay. But I mean, it takes like 2.5 hours to get into that cosplay. So it's definitely a labor of love.
Yeah,
in every way possible. But she's a delight. The character is a delight. We just came across her in my playthrough after Halam Shalal, which is Wicked Eyes, Wicked Hearts, at the Grand Palace. And she joins you. And oh my God, she's just amazing. Claudia Black is phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. I've never been into cosplay or cosplaying myself, but I do want to make an outfit for my cat at some point. So,
Yes, so cute.
I'll dress her as Morrigan.
Oh my goodness, yes. Get her a little necklace. You get some little tiny blue feathers to attach to the shoulder. Oh yeah.
Oh
absolutely.
Yeah, this is the next project. Already started drafting it right now. So with the cosplaying things, was that something you were already interested in, or was it like once you started getting into gaming, did that like throw you into the cosplaying community?
So I actually started out modeling. I've been modeling since I was 21. And I discovered anime probably about 23. And I watched Inuyasha and was like, oh my God, I need to do this. And I just sat down by hand, made Kagome, and my boyfriend at the time was like, oh, well, they have conventions where people who are all dressing up like this will get together and hang out. And I was like, what?
Sign me up.
oh my God, instantly. And so I made him a Morocco cosplay, and we went to Katsucon in DC, And it was, oh my God, I was just over the moon. And it just kind of went on from there. And now it's kind of gotten woven into content creation. All of my thumbnails have cosplays in them for all my big series. Like I just got done with one for Ryder. I definitely was very sad to learn that they don't make her Blasto tank top in real life. So I had to Photoshop it. Bioware, please. We all need that tank top.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
But
Yep.
it's so good. But yeah, like it, the modeling came first and then the cosplay and then and I just happened to have elf pictures of me because those are actually my wedding pictures, the thumbnail for Dragon Age Origin.
Sweet.
And I had them laying around and it just kind of became a trend. And it's kind of a bit of a struggle to balance both of them because creating cosplay is a time and finance consuming endeavor. And so now it's just kind of a hobby. I don't do it as much as I would like to because content creation takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time.
Speaking of though, how's the Caitlyn one coming along?
Oh, how did you know? Okay, I'm obsessed with Arcane. I'm a League of Legends player to begin with. I've been playing for like the last 10 years. And so when Arcane came out, I was like, well, of course I have to watch this. And I was absolutely blown away by how good it is. I was not expecting it. I was just expecting it to be kind of kitschy, kind of like Dota 2, poor things. And I am, oh, what am I like? 26% of the way towards that. I'm chronically ill, so I kind of like had to put cosplay to the side a little bit, and I have to outsource more than I would like to point, but I just don't have the energy to do YouTube and Twitch and like all the clip creation and social media management into being a content creator and take how many hours out of the day to sit down at my like sewing machine and create cosplay. So I'm outsourcing bits and pieces, getting it crafted by other amazing individuals. And so, yeah, Caitlyn is next on that list. I am impressed that you knew that. Yeah, because we just, the kiddos, my community got me all the materials for Arwen for my birthday last year. Because I just watched Lord of the Rings for the first time since I was since I was a child, and I just I went to the theater. I mean, I was like a preteen or something. I was an actual child, and so I was just like, oh yay, whatever. And like it didn't leave any lasting impression on me. And then I watched it again, like as an adult, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. And so of course I need to go cosplay Arwen, and all of my stuff is in except for my wig from somewhere in Europe. So it takes a hot second to get here, but they have really good wigs. So I'm so excited to put that together. I was doing it in the same way. My community is sweet enough to compile those fundraisers for me so I can continue to do the things that I love, chronic illness or no. And I really, really appreciate that from them. It's incredibly kind and generous.
Is the Arwen cosplay, is that going to be with or without the Even Star pendant?
Without, because it's underneath. I'm doing the riding scene, like the chase scene into Rivendell with the Nazgul, and it's underneath that. So I do have the sword though, like the official licensed sword, Hadafang. So
okay,
small trade-off. No pendant.
I think I'd prefer a sword to a pendant any day.
Yeah, the sword's pretty cool.
It's wild. Like I had to hunt that thing down. I had to actually I low-key bought it from just some random guy cleaning out his basement in Florida. No joke. And he was like, "Oh, I've got this," and I was like, "Yes, thank you very much. Please send that my way."
Yeah. You said you mentioned playing League for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's your role? What's your favorite champion?
I am the Seraphine main.
Can we pick her now?
No. I love Seraphine so much. So Sona was my main. I have an ungodly amount of mastery points. I think I have over 500,000 mastery points on Sona alone. If I'm sure you guys have seen my stream setup, and I literally have that artwork of Sona over on the left.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've just been I do mage support, anything that heals. Because in World of Warcraft, I main a holy priestess, and that's just kind of my jive. And I mean, I play other things. I like Ari, and I love Vel'Koz. I'll change it up on occasion, but Seraphine. I love Seraphine so
yeah.
much.
I
And
won't comment.
nobody expects an aggressive Seraphine. And the amount of times I've gone like 24-7 and some other ungodly number because people underestimate the Seraphine, it's delicious.
Yeah, I'll let you keep her. I mean,
You've
man.
upset
can't say
Mike.
a lot. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Just gonna leave
Mike.
them. I really can't say a
So
lot.
sorry.
I'm a disgusting Diana main anyway, so it's fine.
Well, Diana's also great. Diana's fun.
Yeah,
But
Diana's
yeah,
my queen.
she's so good.
Also, Riot's first openly gay champion, everyone. Get in.
Yes, we love because they make tiny illusions like with Nico.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but they haven't like made anything canon until that, and we appreciate that.
No, we definitely
stand some
appreciate that.
inclusivity.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Speaking of inclusivity as well, I saw you're part of Gamehers.
Yes,
Do you want to plug those a little bit quickly?
absolutely. I usually do their streaming 101 or career in streaming webinars, but I also am an ambassador for them. I'm not as terribly active as I would like to be, but they have a really sweet, wholesome little community over there that is kind of catering towards providing a safe space for women and NBs and femme presenting individuals. Because it's pretty common knowledge that women don't always have the best time joining random lobbies and Call of Duty and whatnot. So they have a function where you can just kind of like, hey, I'm playing this. Does anybody want to pop in? And I haven't tried it myself. I just don't have the time. And by the time it's League of Legends time, like wee hours of the night, and my personal friend groups and I were just getting angry about I don't know, whoever angry, Yasuo, Yone, Yi, whoever at the moment is
Any of the
frustrating us.
Ys. Yep.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my
Yep.
god. Especially because Arif is out now. All random ultra rapid fire.
Yep.
Oh my god. I've just been
Yep.
getting my ass
Please.
handed to me. Makes
Yeah.
me so angry. But yeah, the gamers are great. They're really, really, really super sweet. I actually got to help them streamline a lot of the ways because I was part of the beta in which they credit artists and a lot of their copyright stuff, which is really nice because as a fellow creator / artist, that means a lot. A lot of people don't understand copyright law literally at all, and so they just repost things and either don't credit or take credit, even worse. And so I was really happy to work with them, and the fact that they even cared about having a really solid policy for that to begin with, really appreciated that.
Yeah, definitely. And okay, last question to wrap things up then, I guess. It's almost the end of January now, so this question's pretty much open for all of you guys. Did any of you make a New Year's resolution, and have you kept them until the end of the month?
Until the end of the month.
yeah, it stops there. Once we hit February, it's fine to give them up.
I have been trying to reserve an hour a day to craft. And that doesn't have to be sit down and work on an enormous cosplay. It can be things like I bought a sweater and it wasn't exactly the color I wanted it to be. And so I hand dyed it. And that's still crafty, right?
Yeah,
It definitely is.
And so little ways to try to slowly work back into maybe having better stamina for real cosplay because I miss it so much. Like, don't get me wrong. Doing the simple ones is totally fine and valid, and that is still cosplay. But I have a huge heart for the bigger builds and the really accurate ones, like Morrigan. And so I am rearing to do some if I can. So that's been mine. And I've been pretty good about it. Definitely not every day, but there are some days that I spend more than 1 hour, kind of like calling it even.
No, it's definitely how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about y'all?
Poof.
Luke?
I don't really do it. Never really choose one.
No,
to
you're one
follow.
of these people that like 10 years ago said your resolution was to not have a resolution ever again. So in theory, you've done it like perfectly for 10 years now.
Oh well, yeah. We'll go with that. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really came to mind that I thought, oh, I'm gonna really try and make a change in that sense, or I guess a lot of people might be a Brit thing, cut out chocolate and stuff like that. But no, it's not really something I do. I don't want to give up chocolate.
Be like that. No.
Y'all have such good chocolate, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Why cut it out? It's too good. But no, what about you, Mike?
So mine was a lot of like self-care resolutions, and I've decided that like every weekend now I've just been going on dates with myself because why not?
Yeah,
So I've been doing a lot.
Awesome.
I've been doing like a lot of when you get in your mind like an activity that you want to do, but then you put it off for whatever reason. So like over January I've done archery, I've done kayaking, I've done mountain bouldering, like all of these things like on a list of things that I've always wanted to do but made up an excuse for whatever reason.
Nice. So, you've been very active.
Yep.
That is so phenomenal. I'm so proud of you for putting that time aside to do the things that matter to you. It's so much harder than a lot of people give it credit for. So that's amazing.
Yep, I definitely agree. That is really good. How about you, Arron? Have you got anything?
I used to do this thing about learning one new things a year. I actually picked up bouldering a few years ago as well. I'm yet to find one for this year. I'm actually thinking about trampolining.
Trampolining.
Ooh,
that's very out there. I like that. I'm gonna have to add that one to my list, I think.
Well, everybody can jump. Not exactly a high bar, depending on how far you want to take it.
It's actually good fun.
I'm sure there are cool things you could do with it. Like doing different tricks on it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very scared with my head upside down, so I've never quite managed to flip. That could be my thing for this year.
There you go.
If not, there's always like twirls and stuff that you can do.
Yeah, and you'll sort me out.
Yeah.
Make sure you're gonna have to make sure someone films it as well, Arron, so we can see.
I'll be there. That's going straight up on the Twitter page.
Yeah, trampoline is a good one. It is good fun. To be fair,
it's good fun.
I love that.
I feel like I need to pick something. No,
yeah,
I need to go away after this podcast and think about something that I need to start.
A new energy drink, Luke. That's a challenge.
A new what? Sorry.
A new energy drink.
Yeah, probably cutting out energy drinks is probably more.
Oh my goodness!
No, not really be pleasant to be around if you do that.
Well, not when I'm cold turkey. Yeah, no, yeah, that's probably a good one. Actually, you should probably cut down.
Yeah, Mike had a really good approach to it. So like finding something that you really want to do. I mean, and if that's cutting out energy drinks, it's cutting out energy drinks.
Yeah, I prefer Mike's, which is more like.
I mean, mood.
Yeah, I just prefer doing things, activities. That's really cool. Like,
I'll come pick you up next time, Luke. We'll do something together.
Yeah, cheers, man. I mean, there's probably so many things that people think about doing that they don't do because, like you said, Mike, you think about a reason not to, and it's really easy to think about a reason not to do stuff a lot of the times. So I think to actually get out and do it is definitely a good thing.
Absolutely.
How about any more, Mike, or was that last one?
I think that was the last question. I can't see any more else in the chat.
All right.
Nope.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for that. And obviously, thanks, Emma, for coming on. We really appreciate it. And we've had a really fun chat with you as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invite. I always love chatting.
Yeah, it's been really good. Really do appreciate it. And obviously, if you are listening to this, all of Emalynde's socials and Twitch, YouTube links all in the description below. Also be sharing them on our social pages as well, so definitely go and check out her content because it is really good and I highly recommend it. So once again, thanks very much for coming on, really do appreciate that. And then when it comes to us, we do, as I mentioned at the start, do this every Friday around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. GMT, depending on what times we can get guests on. So if you do want to be a part of the live event, then that's how you get involved in our Discord. Join the link via the link in the description below, and then you can get involved, ask questions and stuff like that. But obviously, if you are listening to this after the fact, then you'll know that we're on Spotify as well as, I believe, well, we're definitely on Anchor, but I believe it's Google Podcasts as well. So if you do ever want to listen back to any of the other guests we've had on, then you can do there as well. And also, Arron, I believe, is there a new release coming out next week?
We have one coming out today.
Oh, another Friday release again.
Another one.
So then we planned this week. Lots of bug fixes. We do have a new sort of login journey, something that I had a little bit of a mutiny in the team, just really wanted to change that, and we did. I do agree with them now. It is definitely for better. And we do have some pretty significant updates coming out in the next couple of weeks, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, definitely echo those. It's going to be really interesting because I have obviously seen some of the updates that are coming, and it is really exciting. So definitely check them out, because if you are looking for better teammates to play with, or just to find gaming friends, then download eBlitz off the Android or App Store. And once again, links all in the description below. So definitely check that out and let us know what you think. Always happy to have your feedback. But once again, thanks, Emma. Really do appreciate it. Thanks, Mike, and obviously Arron as well for joining. Wherever you're listening to this in the world, we hope you have a good day, and we'll be back next week to discuss some more gaming. Bye, guys.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Bye.